In my last video, I talked about the worst, or more accurately, disappointing games on the Switch, but now it's time to talk about my favorite games on the Switch. Now, there is still the rule of it has to be Switch exclusive, so unfortunately, Mario Kart 8 cannot be on this list, despite the fact it's one of my favorite games on the Switch, because it was originally a Wii U game. Also, I've made the decision to not put remasters on here, so as much as I would want to put Super Mario RPG Remaster on here, I cannot because I want this to be kind of a Switch exclusive in the most literal way possible. Like, it has to be made specifically for the Switch, not a remaster, not a port, or anything like that. So let's get going. First up, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I've always been more of a 3D Mario fan than 2D Mario. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love 2D Mario. The first game I ever played was Super Mario World, so I'll always love 2D Mario. But once Mario 64 came out, and I experienced the whole third dimension thing, yeah, 2D Mario just seemed a little passe, you know? Like, I didn't really like the new Super Mario Brothers games. I thought they were too boring, you know, relying too much on nostalgia and not really adding anything. And then Wonder comes along, adds in the Wonder Flower, and makes Daisy playable, and I'm sold, you know? And I talked about Super Princess Peach Showtime in the last game. Last video. And I couldn't help. This is the reason why I found that game so disappointing, because this game is easy to play and simple, but way more engaging. You know, you have all the different power-ups, you have all the different playable characters. You know, even if Peach was the only playable character, it would still be way more engaging than Showtime, because there's different power-ups, the Wonder Seeds are really fun, the level design is way better. You just interact with the world more, and it's way more fun. That's all. That's why I couldn't help but find Showtime to be disappointing, because we could have gotten something along this line. You know, even if it wasn't going to be like a traditional 2D Mario thing, it could have been its own thing and really fun and engaging. So yeah, you can't help but look at one and look at the other and be like, well, that one was kind of disappointing, wasn't it? Because you realize what you could have gotten. But yeah, Super Mario Bros. Wonder is really fun. It's actually a game that I actually 100% completed, which I never do, because I just was enjoying the game that much. I like all the playable characters. I really love that they added Daisy. It's about time they did that. And I love all the different badges and the power-ups and all this different stuff that you could do. It was just a fun 2D Mario game. It was the shot in the arm that 2D Mario really needed. And the new art style was pretty cute, so that was nice. Not much to say on this one, because it's just a proven formula, which is 2D Mario, but with so much more fun stuff to do and these cool little gimmicks and stuff that made it way more engaging than any other 2D Mario that I think I've ever played. It was just a really fun surprise. Next up, Pokemon Legends Arceus, the best Pokemon game on Switch. And no, you cannot change my mind about that. So yeah, it was the breath of fresh air that the Pokemon franchises needed. Because Pokemon has been doing the same thing for, like, over 2 decades now. It really needed a shakeup. And this game, while a spinoff, was exactly what we needed. So yes, I'm really looking forward to Legends ZA. Hopefully I'll be able to put that on some kind of best list at some point in time. But anyway, back to Arceus. First of all, it did prove that Pokemon can make one game and actually have all the content in it. Seriously, Pokemon stopped releasing 2 versions of the same game. And maybe that's why this game was a bit better. They actually focused on making one game and not worrying about trying to make 2 games. I mean, don't get me wrong, this game was still clearly rushed. It didn't look amazing. It had its fair share of graphical issues and stuff. But hey, it never crashed on me like Scarlet and Violet always did. And it was way more fun. It actually felt like a game that was made in this decade. You know, unlike the mainline game's super arcadey 90s thing that it's still living in. So yeah, it was just the breath of fresh air that it needed. It really, that freshness and newness really hid a lot of its flaws. Kind of like how I said the same thing with Breath of the Wild in the last game, and how Tears of the Kingdom did not have that, so a lot of its flaws were more apparent. It's one of those things where the newness really helped. It was just such a new experience. We haven't gotten a new experience in Pokemon in forever, because the mainline games are so similar that they just run together. It did suffer a little bit from it, though. Like, not just, you know, the graphics not great and everything, but a lot of the Pokemon moves were not in there. Like, why was Earthquake not in this game? Like, that was just weird, you know? And also it had one of the smallest Pokedexes ever. That was clearly, you know, a thing about it being rushed. So hopefully Legends ZA doesn't have these problems, because there's a lot of potential here. There's a lot of great things they can do. I hope we get more Legends games, because this is way more interesting and way more fun than the mainline games. Plus, it actually works, for the most part. Up next, we have Mario Odyssey. So, like I said, I've always been more of a 3D Mario fan than 2D, and Mario Odyssey is a really great game. The ability to capture things with your hat and use their different abilities to solve puzzles, that's the kind of stuff I wish we saw in something like Showtime. Man, I'm really going back to that game a lot. I really wish it was better. But yeah, being able to switch up your moveset and abilities and stuff to complete your tasks, that's just way more fun than any sort of linear thing that you had to do in Showtime. But anyway, so the only problem I have with Odyssey is that its storyline is very short. Like, you can go through the main story very quickly. There's tons of stuff to do afterward and stuff to keep you going and stuff. Like, you won't be bored or anything like that. But I kind of wish the story could have been a bit longer. And, maybe have a few more worlds and stuff. Like, everyone wanted DLC for this and Mario Odyssey 2, and I'm one of those people. But we did not get that, even though the game was full of stuff, and makes me wonder if we'll ever get a Mario Odyssey 2. I hope so, or whatever they decide to do next hopefully will be as good as this. As always, Mario is just fun to move around. It's fun to constantly do things and get rewards for it. It's funny because most 3D Mario games before, you just pick a objective and then try to do it and stuff. Sometimes you could go out of order. But here, you can just do whatever you want. Just everything you do pretty much gets you a moon. It's like, it's really, really fun to just do all this stuff. It's a constant stream of rewards and stuff, Not much else to say. It looks great, plays great, the music's great. Everything about it's great. Pauline came back for it, which was great because she's getting added to other games, which is great. I really liked using her in Mario Kart. It's just a great game all around, and I hope they make more. Is it really like hard? Is it really like? Do I need to say that Mario's good? Like, you all know why it's good, okay? All right, next up we have Animal Crossing: New Horizons. Man, what a smash hit this game was! Came around at the perfect time, and everybody loved it. Well, mostly everybody loved it. A lot of longtime Animal Crossing fans say that there's actually a lot of stuff missing from this game. But you know what? I never played a lot of the old games, so I don't have nothing to compare it to. I played one Animal Crossing game before this, and it was one of the earlier ones. So for me, this was a huge, huge upgrade. And yeah, I spent tons of hours playing this game and building my town and getting the villagers that I wanted and collecting stuff. And it was just really, really fun. And I don't remember much about my original Animal Crossing experience way, way back in the day, but I do remember not being able to do a lot of stuff that you could do in this game, like make paths and put stuff outside and do all this other stuff. It was just so much stuff you could do. It's funny, too, because like I said, a lot of people said that some stuff wasn't there. It makes me wonder what kind of stuff they cut out, It's kind of a shame it didn't get as much DLC as it probably should have. It could have done so much, apparently, since there's a lot of stuff missing. So that's a bit of a shame. But like I said, for me, it was just a really great experience. It took me a very, very long time before I was completely satisfied with my island. I did like some complete renovations, turning it into a different town like every couple of months, just trying out new things. And it was just really, really fun. I will say, though, apparently this is something that a lot of people have a problem with, and it's something I have a problem with, even though I don't recall much about my old experience, is that the villagers don't seem to have a lot of personality anymore. Like, it's all just, they all say the same thing all over and over again. It's like, I feel like I can't have any real conversations with people, It's just the same kind of thing, and they don't feel like they're unique enough. They're just the same NPC with different skins or whatever. So that's kind of a shame. I know there's like hundreds of villagers now, so that's probably why, but, it's almost like the villagers are an accessory more than anything, than actual like characters or something. But whatever, I had a lot of fun making my town, customizing a lot of things, going to other people's towns, seeing what they can do. Some of the stuff that people can do in this game is amazing. Like, I don't even know how they make this stuff. But yeah, so it was just a lot of fun, and I look forward to the next one, in 10 years or whatever. Alright, next up is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Do I even need to explain why this game's awesome? They brought back every character, added a bunch of new characters that everybody wanted, and they did it all without battle passes and microtransactions. Just plain and simple DLC. Remember how every character reveal was like an event that sometimes would break the internet, like Minecraft Steve and Sora and all that stuff? It was like everything from this game's marketing to the reveals, everything was just, it was a magical time, wasn't it? I really missed that time. It was amazing. But yeah, the gameplay is amazing too. It had a ton of content too, like more than pretty much any fighting game on the market at the time. And even to this day, there's not a lot of games that can measure up to its content. Obviously, the one downside is that the online was pretty terrible. I never even bothered with it. I could tell that it was just going to be really bad. So that kind of stinks. But I've never been much for online play anyway. But yeah, overall, Smash was just an amazing time. And I don't know how they're ever going to top it. Like, can you even top it? It was one of the few fighting games that had the title Ultimate in it, and it actually felt ultimate. That word gets thrown around way too much in the video game industry. But yeah, again, I don't think I have to explain why this game was amazing. Everyone knows it. And that basically does it for all the Nintendo Switch exclusive stuff. But the funny thing is, there are so many great games that are not exclusive to Switch that I kind of want to throw them in here at the very end. So obviously Mario Kart 8 is an amazing game. They ported it over from the Wii U and they gave it new content. So that was really great. It was all free too if you had Nintendo Online. So that was nice. Super Mario RPG got a remaster, which is one of my favorite games of all time. So being able to play through that again with a little bit of new content and quality of life features was also really great. And then the big one would probably be Breath of the Wild, because that was also on Wii U. But it's one of my favorite games of all time, because it was such a, no pun intended, breath of fresh air. And I actually am not a big fan of Zelda games, but this game really, really made me love Zelda, Like, I actually played a lot of Zelda games. I played Echoes of Wisdom and stuff. The reason Echoes of Wisdom is not on here is because at the time of recording, I have not finished it. It's been very slow going because I've been busy with a lot of other stuff. But I'm enjoying it so far. And we got a lot of Zelda on here. Even if Tears of the Kingdom was disappointing, there was also Hyrule Warriors and then the Link's Awakening remake. So much Zelda, which is what you usually don't get. So that was nice. But yeah, Breath of the Wild, just one of my favorite games of all time. Spent hundreds of hours in it. Just really, really great game. Same with, Mario Kart and RPG and so many just great games that were ports. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze was another one. I never got to play that originally. So playing it on the Switch was great. So yeah, just so many amazing games on Switch, whether they were exclusive or ports or whatever. Just amazing system overall. Definitely a step up from the Wii U. I think we can all agree to that, even though the Wii U spawned a franchise that I really like in Splatoon, which, none of the Splatoon games got on here because I'm just, as much as I love Splatoon, I'm just not good at it, so I couldn't put it as one of my absolute faves. But yeah, they're still good games, even if I'm terrible at them. And I'm always looking forward to new Splatoon stuff. And they got put in Mario Kart and Smash, so that's great. I can at least play them in those games. So yeah, let me know what you guys love about the Switch and what games you love, and I'll see you next time.